Okay, welcome back to the channel. All that good stuff. Okay, so I'm actually doing a investigation I found online as a task for the year 10. So you can all say hello now. Hey, senior students. Okay, all good. All right, so this one's interesting. We've been working on financial mathematics, and this investigation is a way in which someone might work out how to generate a wage sheet for workers if they produce a set amount of items. Now, how this works is if a worker produces less than 100 items, they are paid 80 cents per item. And for everything they produce over 100, they are paid 95 cents for each item. So for the 101st item, they get an extra 95 cents. 102nd item, another 95 cents. So another 15 cents on top of what they were doing before. Okay, first task, and you're welcome to pause the video, is open up Excel. And I would suggest copying down at least this much of the two right-hand columns that you see in the assignment task here. Okay, so show you a little trick though. If you have something that's repetitive, even if it's a repetitive days, you don't have to write every day of the week. Now note here, I've highlighted using the shift key that we have 2 subsequent days. If I go down to this little corner on the right hand side, click and drag, it fills in the rest of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so that's a little time saver. You'll find those, we're going to use that feature a fair bit as we go through. Okay, so now we set up all the information we've got here. Now, to work out the daily wage, I might just add that in as well. So I'm going to put the daily wage. Let's go put it in bold like they did. Daily wage. Okay. All right. A couple other things I'll do before I proceed is actually I'm going to change my presentation of numbers. So I've highlighted these two. I'm going to put them in terms of money, which I can use by clicking on number and clicking on the dollar sign should be good enough. Yep, there we go. All right, so now it's represented as dollars. I'll be doing that with this column as well in a moment, but I'll do that after I set up well, basically the command. Okay, now I'm going to highlight that one and see if I can make that larger on the screen. Nope. Okay, I'm afraid I can't. But what I can do, I can probably zoom in on this side. Now, so we're going to zoom in on this section and look at that, what I had to put into there. All right. All right. So let's go and explain what we put into here. I may need to make that a little bit smaller. Fit it all in. Nope. Bad luck. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, this is what you need to type into that particular one. If you type it in, you get the number 76. But let me just explain what this is. This is a logical statement. And it's going to do the job of what we talked about in terms of the rate per 100 items. Every item under 100 is 80 cents. Every item over 100 is counted as 95 cents. Now, what this does is pulling off, so it's very actually one reminder, put everything in its place if you're going to copy this out because you're going to make sure it's referring to the right ones. All right, so I'm going to highlight this one as well as I go. Now, if we look here, B7 is less than 100. So the first statement, if, bracket. Now, the first part is there's a condition. If B7 is less than 100, okay, and the next part is what it does. So after the comment, this is a command that it does if that statement is true. So if B7 is less than 100, then it multiplies by B3, which is the 80 cents. That's that one there. You can see actually on the left-hand side, that's all color-coded. All right. Now, after the comment, this is what it does if the statement is false. So if the number of items produced is not less than 100, then it does this command. What it does is it times this by 80 cents, and then for every item, this little section here, every item above 100, it times that by the 95 cents. So hopefully that's a lot of things to take in, but this formula has now taken the place of having to work things out. Now, unfortunately, that's now stuck in a particular position, but there's something really nifty about spreadsheets. Okay, so once you've typed that in, you should get 76. Now, you don't have to keep clicking around and making everything go back. Because if you've organized something in a nice little matrix with columns and rows, okay, we'll just call it well, if you organize your spreadsheet well. I'll show you what happens next. If I drag this down, now this might cause a few issues. I'm going to see if this works. If not, I might have to fix it up. All right. So I'm just going to double check. So I've done another click and drag. I'm going to go to each of these and make sure it's referring to it correctly. Okay. Yes. So you can see the next row, it actually is referring to, the test is referring to the element on the left. If B8 is less than 100, and it's actually referring to these two again. So it's actually copied that out quite well. So the only thing that's actually moved as I dragged that down was the first part after the bracket. The conditional statement moved down one row. Okay, so if you check again, this one, B9, B10, and so on. All right, I'll show you that little trick again. So you take the first one, you have to type the first one in as written. You click on there, you drag it down, and it will fill out the rest of them. And that one seemed to work pretty well. Okay. All right. I might just do one more thing before I pause. So let's just work out the totals. Okay. Now, we can do totals by using an operation. So we're going to do equals and sum. Okay. Equals sum. You click on that. All right. Then I'm going to drag the numbers I want to include into there. Okay. Equals sum, B7 to B12, close bracket. All right. So how many items were produced in total? 531. All right. Now, neat little trick with anything you're doing in rows and columns that's the same. I could probably drag this across and see if it actually does the same thing with the next column. So I actually took what I did here, clicked on the bottom right, that little square, drag it to the right, and let's have a look. Has it worked out? Yes, it's worked out the sum of all the wages. All right. So I'm just going to pause it there. We'll come back to the questions in a minute. All right. Ooh. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the next section. Let's just check our results though. All right, check the weekly wage. So question 2 is $431.70. Okay, yep, there's there. All right, but it doesn't actually display 70, so we're going to fix that. So what we're going to do is highlight the daily wage, and we're going to change that to a dollar value as well. So now you can see it's $431.70. It was the correct number. It just wasn't represented as a dollar value. Okay, that's fine. So question 3, calculate the weekly wage if the rate of producing more than 100 items is increased to $1.05, and the production from Monday to Friday is these numbers. All right, now, if you have to redo things, there's a couple of ways you could go about it. You could just literally go and change everything. So if you want to do it that way, I suggest going highlighting everything. I take a snapshot, take that, put in your assignment. Okay, the short, if you're using a Windows, that's Windows Shift S to do that. All right. Otherwise, what I'm going to do, this is my method, I'm actually going to copy everything. So I'm going to keep all the work I've got now and just replicate it underneath. Okay, so you notice that everything copied, and that includes the formulas, and the formulas refer to the correct values. So now you can see here, it still refers to these numbers. Actually, that might cause an issue because I want to change those values. All right, so that's going to cause problems. So I might have to reset a couple of things in there because I want to change this. So let's have a look what we have to do. All right, Monday to Friday, we do these in orders. Reading from the bottom of question 3. So Monday is 98. Tuesday is 121. We have 125 items Wednesday. Thursday is 137 and 84 there. Now, okay, now the rate for 100 items or over 100 items is now 1.05. Okay, so $1.05 has actually been an increase. All right, but these are not correct. So I'm actually going to delete the ones below, and I'll show you why. Okay. Actually, that only delete that one. Okay, sorry, delete. Oh yeah, all of them. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to this one. Now, if you click on a formula, it will show you the cells it refers to. Now, if you notice up on the up above, it's referring to the old money values here. So we have to correct that. So let's have a look for all the cells that refer to B3 and B4, because they then have to refer to B16, which isn't actually different, and B17. But regardless, we'll change them anyway. All right. So B3 is going to become B13, B16 rather. Okay, and you can see when I change that, the value is now moved down to the B16. Can you see that one's highlighted? B16? Okay, and the other one is, okay, there's another B3 I need to change to B16. So that's there. And what else? I need to change the B4 to B17. Okay, so you see now the formula now corresponds to the correct ones. Now the wage became 78.40. All right, I'm going to drag and drop again. All right, that's right. I'll come and help people as we go. I'll just say it again. Okay, so I had to, when I copied the work from top to bottom, it was still referring to these elements up here. So I had to modify my formula values. I had to modify the formulas such that instead of referring to 0.8 and 0.95, it referred to 0.8 and 1.05. Now, if you just use the same one and just change the numbers, it would have been fine. That would have actually worked just fine. So I'm just showing you another way to go about it. Okay, so, all right. Now, I've actually gone and done all the daily wages. Don't go into the totals because you've got to pull across from this value here. Okay. All right. So the final total, actually, I should fix that up. Change that to a number. Okay, so we've done that one. So question 3, calculate the weekly wage if the rate for producing more than 100 items per day is increased to that and that. Okay, so our answer for that is $472.75 if I got it correct. Okay, I believe I have. Okay, use the spreadsheet to recalculate and check answers for questions 1 and 2. All right. You can do that. I'll make that one optional because I don't have the textbook on the screen to actually refer to that one. So your task is to finish that off and put them all in one Word document and submit that for this class by this Friday. Okay. All right. Catch you guys next time.